What's going on, everyone? This is Mas speaking Clean Air. All right, haven't posted anything very much on YouTube. It's just been really busy with installations and just life in general and stuff like that. Appreciate the support. Like, we're up from 800 followers at the end of last year now to like about 920. So we're on our way to get monetized, but we all know it's not about the money or anything like that because YouTube doesn't pay anything, but it's still fun. So today what we're going to do is we're going to be putting in a set of, Gord, who's the guy that provided the taillights for you? We got to give him a shout out.
URC Light Hub.
URC Light Hub. So we're gonna give a link to that guy at the end of the vlog, and this is pretty exciting because yours is what, 2018 Highlander? 17?
Yep.
And I should know this because we did some suspension work on it. 2017 Toyota Highlander, bagged, belonging to Gord. All right, so here it is. There's a little beauty over here. And why is this so high?
Tear it up.
I'm kidding. All right. Oh my God, look at this. Nice trunk setup. Version 1. We're gonna give it about a year or so, and then we're gonna change it up a little bit. Well, I'm gonna keep you guys posted on what we're gonna be doing with it. It's pretty sick. But here it is. We kind of backed it in a little bit. Of course, we're in Canada. And we got beautiful sunny weather, just like in California. We're like sweating, right? We're sweating from all the heat. No, we're sweating because we're rained out because of the stupid rain. But we're gonna take these off, wipe them off, take them off, expose them. We're gonna try to figure out how to get to them. I think we gotta take the interior panels, right? Most likely. So we'll have to look at that. And the other portion of this, because they're two-piece, the edges and also the inners, which are over here. So I know for the inners, we're 100% gonna have to remove this. We've never done this. We'll try not to break too many clips. And we'll keep you posted on what we're done as we head on and start doing it. All right, so we removed the trim panels, which are all the way here. These are just kind of like pressure push clips, so you gotta kind of pry it out. Just be gentle. Use plastic prying tools to take it off, and exercise caution because they're pretty good. They won't break. Like the plastic that Toyota uses is pretty decent. It's not like Volkswagen. But once you remove all the sort of panels over here, then you get access to the actual taillights, which are over here, and we'll be able to disconnect it, have a look at it, and fit the replacement models that we have, which are over here. And as we take them apart and mount them, we'll show you guys and kind of figure out the wiring as well. All right, so remove one of the center lights, and just for reference, it is held by two side pieces, which go through this hole over here. Let me turn on you can actually see it through here on the edges, but in order to get to it, you have to remove, so you got to remove this trim piece on the side over here in order to get to the two retaining nuts that are holding the actual light on the inside. You guys can see it on the other side over here. This one is not removed. This is attached, so you got to remove all these. You don't have to fully remove it. You can still hold it because it's held together by these screws going into plastic retainers, but that will give you access in order to remove these two nuts, which are 10 millimeters. All these are 10 millimeters as well. And then what happens is inside the actual taillight itself has, so these are the side edges over here, which are the nuts, but it also has a hidden 10 millimeter nut that's inside. I'll show you guys the hole, and then it has a pressure nub that goes in into like a plastic piece. So once you remove this nut and these side nuts, you kind of have to tug it out and push it out to release this pressure nub. But you get to it through this hole over here, as you guys can see on the outside there. And the pressure nub is hidden right behind there, but that's pretty much how you remove the center. All right, so when you guys do this installation, it's probably better to have two people do it in it's not a single person installation, just because you need to get a ladder. And while these are being fed from the top, and the reason why you want to feed them with the hatch open is because every time you're going to try to close the hatch or hold it, it'll try to close it on you and you won't have access to it. So it's better to have a ladder like this. Get somebody like Gord here, who's the owner, guide the light down while you feed the actual wires through so you don't pinch a wire. Another thing that we found with this kit is these retainer nuts that come here for the edges are a little bit close together. So this hole had to be a little bit bigger, made bigger for it to go through. Otherwise, this wouldn't allow it to go through because they're a little bit tight. So they're not exactly to the same spec as a factory, but it's not a big deal. Just basically increase the hole of the here by about two more diameters with a step drill. We also use pour 15 to kind of seal it, because then you're going to be exposing to the steel, and you don't want rust to form, so you want to kind of coat it before you put it in with pour 15, and then you're able to kind of wiggle it in and pull it in and apply pressure. So that's one of the things that we found on putting the aftermarket taillights. A lot of aftermarket taillights don't fit perfectly, so there's some modification required. Yeah, surprisingly, right? If you buy stuff from AliExpress, don't expect everything to work perfectly. These weren't bought from AliExpress, but they are, they're not made in North America and stuff. So anyways, but this is what we had to do in order to make them fit. So one is on, and now we're going to focus on the... All right. So the wiring that it comes with like a conduit wire that connects up to the lower or the side taillights, but it piggybacks from the center hatch lights. You do have to remove your factory bulb holder, because it plugs into this little 194 connector, and then this plugs to the factory connector, and then this one also plugs into like a little spade connector. So you basically have to trace the wiring. It's not too hard, but if you guys look at the actual factory connectors, then you'll know where the plugs go in. Now be careful, because these are directional and they're not marked. So if you plug these in, make sure you don't put the panels before you test them to make sure that they're working, because if you plug these in reverse, you're gonna have to remove all the panels and replug them up. So essentially do all your testing and all your connections before you put it back together. I would also recommend that once these are already tested and they work, because they're kind of just pressed in there, it's probably a good idea to take some electrical tape, put it around it in order to reinforce the connector. Because if you go over a bump, especially for those that live in New York City, and we all know the roads in New York City are amazing. Same with Toronto. Downtown Toronto roads are butter as well too. That's why, so many problems with suspension. These might actually pop out with going up and down, especially because it's a high vehicle. So what I recommend you do is, just because it kind of sit in there, put some electrical tape to secure these. But so far, this is pretty easy wiring for the center pieces on the hatch. We're right about to remove the side. To remove the side taillight, there is a wiring harness plug that you kind of have to reach through into there. It's a white plug. Can you see it? Yeah, right there. And it kind of has like a push out connector, and then there's a grommet that it feeds through here that you can pull out. I think Gord already removed it over here, which is what this is, and then it connects up into your lights. I believe the factory or the aftermarket lights come with one or with a connector port. Yes, they do, and a grommet. So you got to feed this in, and as you guys can see, you're piggybacking the top or the center hatch connector lights through this wire, which I think we're gonna have to run through. We're gonna see if we can feed it through here. You might be able to feed it through here actually, and connect it up. The only thing is I think that the wires are connected on the perimeter, so they don't really go through the grommet. So you're gonna have to actually take this, I believe we're gonna figure it out and kind of run it and hide it underneath the hatch, which is kind of not the best way of doing it. We're gonna try to figure it out and keep you guys posted as we do. But for now, the centers are installed. We did have to enlarge the holes here, as previously managed for them to go thin. They do look pretty good. We'll have a final glance over after we complete them, but we're just in the process of putting in the side pieces. All right, okay, so the side tail lights are not very hard to put in, but what we need to do is these connect to the back of the tail lights, which is this connector wire that I showed previously, and we kind of routed them underneath here and kind of routed them behind, because what we're going to do is we're going to feed it underneath the rubber. We're going to kind of have it go through. There's enough of a slack for you to be able to put the rubber seal and have it, but we channeled it right underneath there. When you guys actually look at the lights, when you have them in front of you, when you install them, you'll know that we ran it through in between there. There's a nice little groove in there that goes right into the connectors. And this is how it looks like on this side, where you run it underneath here. Keeps it kind of nice and clean out of the way. You really have to look at it for it to be able to see it. And then it goes underneath the rubber seal over here. It goes behind, and then we routed it underneath here, and then we're riding it from here, and it will connect up into the connecting taillights in the center hatch. So this is just an update how they fit. They fit pretty snug. They're not too bad. You do have enough of a spacing over here to route this through, and then underneath the rubber grommet. And that's pretty much it for now. We're gonna show you guys the final result in a second, how we talk about. All right, so we got everything wired up. This is how that's how the taillight looks like. So those quick little pointers that we showed you guys in regards to installing them and routing the connection wires. Otherwise, you know, they're direct fit, plug and play, just like the manufacturer says. All right, hope you guys enjoyed it. All right, what's going on? So we didn't really show you guys how we connected them. It's very important to sort of know how to connect these connectors, because if you reverse them, and it's very easy to reverse these connectors because of the fact that this one's actually quite hard to put into the socket. What will happen is your center medium lights or the center hatch lights will actually not work the way they're supposed to be. This is what happened with us when we connected it yesterday and it wasn't working correctly. So essentially what you got to do is these have to be ran through over here all the way down. They connect to the main side lights, which is the yellow and the green. And then you have a socket that you have to reuse from the factory. Actually, it comes with a kit. No, actually, you have to reuse that, but remove the bulb and connect the white and black spade connector into here. It's pretty loose. That's one of the reasons why we didn't really put it in. We had this one switch with this one and vice versa. They're both 194 sockets, but this one's sort of very easy to misguide. So make sure this one is connected to your factory bulb socket, which is the white connector over here. And then this is a piggyback harness that you get from the manufacturer when you buy these lights. And then the piggyback connector, the brown one is not connected to anything, it just kind of flows. But your socket over here from the piggyback connects into your red and black wire. And this is very hard to put in, so you have to kind of fidget it in because it's very tight. Initially we had these switched, so it wasn't working. So this is just sort of an update on the proper wiring of these lights. Other than that, the startup and everything works. And close your hatch and see how they look like during the day. Are you happy with them? Mm-hmm. So they are very nice looking lights. I do think they changed the actual look of the Highlander. It does modernize it, and it's definitely a thumbs up. So for more content, follow Squeaky Clean Air on YouTube, and check out Slamlander on Instagram. So we're gonna do the startup of how these lights look like. I like them. They're pretty cool. All right, let's go.